How do you move mountains without breaking a sweat? The US Air Force found the answer with the C-5 Galaxy. That's the largest plane ever built by the US Air Force. We are sure you are curious to see what makes it so incredible. This video is for you. You're going to be amazed. A sky giant takes flight. The Lockheed Martin C-5 Galaxy is the United States Air Force's largest aircraft and a true engineering marvel. From the moment it first roared into the skies in 1968, this behemoth redefined what we thought was possible in aviation. What about something so vast it could carry tanks, helicopters, and even fully assembled missiles across the globe? At an incredible 247 feet long, with a wingspan of 222 feet, the C-5 Galaxy is more than just an aircraft. It's a flying warehouse. It's standing in front of something so tall, about 65 feet, that you'd have to crane your neck just to see its top. It's no exaggeration to call it the backbone of America's strategic airlift capabilities. But the Galaxy's story didn't start overnight. It took years of innovation, trial, and error to get here. Back in the 1960s, the Air Force had big dreams and even bigger challenges. They needed a plane that could do what no other could: transport oversized cargo at jet speeds across continents. Enter the C-5 Galaxy, a plane that didn't just meet those expectations, but smashed through them. The early days dreaming big. The story of the C-5 Galaxy begins in the late 1950s, a time when the US Air Force relied heavily on two workhorses: the Douglas C-124 Globemaster II and the Douglas C-133 Cargomaster. These planes were dependable, no doubt about it, but they weren't exactly speed demons. With their piston engines, they lumbered through the skies at a pace that felt almost leisurely compared to the potential of jet engines. By the early 1960s, the Air Force had upgraded to the sleek, jet-powered C-141 Starlifter. This was a step forward. It zipped through the skies at a cruising speed of 495 knots, an impressive leap from its piston-driven predecessors. But there was a catch. While the Starlifter was fast, it lacked the size to handle oversized cargo. For a military force that might need to transport enormous machinery or fully assembled missiles, this was a deal-breaker. To fill the gap, the Air Force brought in the C-135 Stratolifter, purchasing 60 of them as a temporary fix. However, these planes also struggled with oversized loads, leaving the aging C-133 to continue as the go-to for bulky cargo. Unfortunately, the C-133 was nearing the end of its service life, and the Air Force couldn't keep patching the problem with short-term solutions. It became clear that the military needed something revolutionary, a plane capable of carrying practically anything, from massive equipment to troops, without breaking a sweat. This vision birthed the CXX program, a bold initiative aimed at creating a new era of airlift capability. From this ambitious effort emerged the C-5 Galaxy, a true titan of the skies. The road to the C-5 wasn't just about solving logistical challenges, it was about imagining what was possible. Could one plane really transform how a military moves its assets? The Air Force decided to find out, and the results were nothing short of groundbreaking. Building the beast. What about being tasked with designing something that had never existed before? In 1964, the Air Force issued a request for proposals for what they called the CXHLS, which means Heavy Logistics System. The specs were daunting: a massive payload capacity, jet-powered speed, and the ability to handle oversized cargo with ease. 5 companies threw their hats into the ring, but by 1965, it was down to 3: Boeing, Douglas, and Lockheed. Each had their own ideas, but Lockheed's vision stood out. By December 1965, they secured the contract to build 81 aircraft, and the C-5 Galaxy project officially took flight. The result was nothing short of spectacular. With its unique shape and massive size, the C-5 could carry 840,000 pounds at takeoff and travel over 5,500 miles without refueling. Its innovative design included 2 cargo doors, one at the front and one at the back, making loading and unloading a breeze. And with its ability to kneel to lower the cargo floor, It was as functional as it was impressive. The first C-5A took to the skies in 1968, and by 1969, it was already making history. This wasn't just a plane, it was a game changer. A plane for all seasons. The C-5 Galaxy has always been a beast of a plane, and not just in size. From the start, it was crafted for the toughest jobs imaginable. Need to haul an M1 Abrams tank? Done. A Chinook helicopter? No sweat. The space shuttle? Yes, even that was within its capability. This wasn't just a cargo plane, it was a lifeline for missions that demanded the impossible. What set the C-5 apart wasn't just its massive capacity, but its ability to adapt to challenging environments. With its rugged landing gear outfitted with 28 wheels, it could touch down on runways most planes wouldn't dare approach. Dirt roads, remote outposts, and war-torn regions. The C-5 made it happen, bringing critical supplies, equipment, and even hope to places others couldn't reach. Over time, this iconic aircraft didn't just stay relevant, it evolved. The original C-5A paved the way, but the improved C-5B took things up a notch with stronger wings and better engines. Then came the showstopper, the C-5M Super Galaxy. Introduced in the 2000s, this upgraded version brought cutting-edge technology to the table. Advanced avionics, a sleek glass cockpit, and new engines that were quieter and more fuel-efficient solidified its place as the backbone of heavy airlift operations. Even after more than 5 decades in the skies, the C-5 Galaxy remains a vital part of the U.S. Air Force. With 52 C-5M Super Galaxies still in active service, these giants call places like Dover Air Force Base in Delaware and Travis Air Force Base in California home. Whether delivering military equipment, humanitarian aid, or critical supplies, the C-5 continues to prove it's not just a plane, it's a legend in aviation. The heart of the galaxy, its engines. Let's dive into the heart of the beast, the engines. The C-5 Galaxy story wouldn't be complete without a nod to the raw power under its wings. Back when the project first kicked off, jet engine technology was still finding its footing. Most planes at the time used low-bypass engines. Sure, they packed a punch, but they burned through fuel like it was going out of style. Initially, the C-5 was supposed to have 6 engines. Sounds like overkill, right? Turns out, it was. The added weight and inefficiency would have been a nightmare. There is another game changer, the high-bypass turbofan engine. This design rerouted more air around the engine core, making it not only more efficient, but also incredibly powerful. It was like giving the C-5 a superpower, more thrust without breaking the bank on fuel. Fast forward to today, and the C-5M has taken this innovation to a whole new level. Its General Electric F138 engines are nothing short of impressive. Each one cranks out a jaw-dropping 50,000 pounds of thrust. That's how this colossal aircraft can cruise at 462 knots and climb to 45,000 feet with a staggering payload. Imagine hauling tanks, trucks, or even helicopters while soaring high above the clouds. That's the magic of these engines. But it's not just about the numbers, it's about what these engines make possible. Without them, the C-5 wouldn't be the legend it is. They're the reason it can transport massive cargo across the globe, reach remote locations, and keep military operations running smoothly. It's no exaggeration to say these engines are the soul of the galaxy. They're not just powerful, they're the key to this aircraft's extraordinary capabilities, transforming a massive machine into a marvel of engineering. Challenges and triumphs. The C-5 Galaxy's story is one of ambition, innovation, and overcoming challenges. But let's be honest, great achievements rarely come without a few bumps along the way. In its early days, the C-5A faced a serious issue that could have grounded the entire program. Cracks in its wing structure were one of them. Engineers realized that the original design couldn't handle the plane's maximum payload without risking catastrophic failure. This wasn't just a small hiccup, it was a potentially mission-ending problem. So what was the solution for that? A full redesign of the wings. After countless hours of work and testing, they delivered stronger, more reliable wings, bringing the C-5 back to its intended glory. As time marched on and the fleet aged, the Air Force found itself at a crossroads. Should they retire the C-5, an aircraft that had become an integral part of their operations, or double down and invest in significant upgrades? Walking away might have seemed like the easier option, but the decision-makers chose the tougher path, and it paid off. The C-5M Super Galaxy, a modernized version of the original, equipped with new engines, advanced avionics, and structural improvements. These upgrades didn't just keep the plane in service, they gave it a second life, extending its relevance well into the 21st century, a living legend. Even after more than half a century in service, the C-5 Galaxy remains a vital part of the U.S. Air Force. Its ability to transport massive loads quickly and efficiently makes it irreplaceable. Whether it's delivering humanitarian aid to disaster-stricken areas or supporting military operations, the C-5 continues to prove its worth time and time again. So, the next time you look up at the sky and see a massive plane soaring overhead, take a moment to appreciate the marvel that is the C-5 Galaxy. It's more than just a machine, it's a piece of history, a testament to human innovation, and a reminder of what we can achieve when we set our sights on the skies. So that's a look at the C-5 Galaxy, truly a giant in the sky. If you enjoyed learning about this incredible aircraft, don't forget to like, comment, and share. Make sure to subscribe for more fascinating insights into the world of aviation. You won't want to miss what's next.